Counting the.
Cost of the war?
Wow, Olya, why did Russia invade Ukraine?
Oh, yeah, that's a that's an interesting question. The Russia and Ukraine were both part of the Soviet Union, so people mistakenly think that Ukraine was part of Russia, which is not true. It was just they were both part of Soviet Union with another 13 republics, so it was like 15 republics. Ukraine got its independence 30 years ago, but Russia has always been trying to, to have their people in government to control what Ukraine does. For many years, Russia has been trying to destroy the Ukrainian language, Ukrainian culture. So, like every generation of Ukrainians suffered from some, attacks from Russia. Um, and they have been literally brainwashing their people's minds with the idea that there is no freedom of speech in Russia. Like, literally, no. There is no freedom of religion in Russia, no freedom of media. They have only four media channels that are controlled by government. That's it. No free media, journalists and newspapers and stuff. So and they have been brainwashing people's minds with the idea that Ukraine was gonna attack Russia. That Ukraine, yes, we have relatives in Russia and they believe that. Can you imagine?
Wow.
They don't believe. Yes, my husband's uncle, his mother's brother, and yeah, the things that we hear from him is like it's a different world, So Russia's president Vladimir Putin, um, he just told that there are Nazis in Ukraine, and there are a lot of Russian-speaking people in Ukraine, and it has always been like that, and they have always been free to speak, both Ukrainian, Russian, and other languages. So never it was never a problem. But Russia's president, he just told that Russian-speaking people are being, you know, like persecuted. So we need to have a specially military operation to go to Ukraine, and we need to, uh, they call it clean Ukraine from Nazis, and 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 protect Russian-speaking people. And it sounds so, I don't know, I don't even have the words to call it, because I mean the whole world now sees and understands what's going on, and but they keep, telling that fairy tale to their people. Whenever we send the link to some YouTube video or some articles to our relatives in Russia, they have just black screen. They cannot open it. So they are totally, like uh, divided with the other world. So we cannot even show and tell them what's going on, what's really going on. So in 2014, there was an revolution in Ukraine, and the I mean, Ukraine has become closer to Europe, um, independent country. has the right to choose their government, to choose their president, and that's exactly what Ukraine did. But Russia didn't like that, so they have always been, trying to have their hand on Ukraine and controlling everything. So they made up this story that whenever Ukraine joins European Union, they will attack us. They will attack us. So, and he has been, threatening his people, and he now has support from, from people, because he has been telling that for years. And yeah, so he had a plan to capture Ukraine in 3 days, to get the capital in 3 days. And yes, and it's been 2 months exactly yesterday. So they already gave up that idea of getting the capital. And so yeah, one of the cities that suffered a lot from that invasion was the little town that I went to college in. It's Bucha, a little town close to Kyiv. So they couldn't get the capital, so the soldiers stayed in that little town where Adventist College is located. And they've been staying there for 3 weeks. And what they left after just shaked the whole world. I don't know if you saw something or heard something, but it just tears and pain, because there is actually, I don't know if you know about the Geneva Convention. It's the law, but it's the rules how you lead the war. So there are some rules how you need to treat prisoners, how you need to treat civilians and stuff. But what the Russian soldiers did and keep doing now is just, it's inhuman. So much. They raped little kids. I don't know if it's okay that you hear that, that I say that, but it's a little town, but they are still. It's free now. The Russian soldiers left the town, but I have a lot of friends there, because I walked on those streets for 4 years when I was in college. So
Wow.
yeah, so they are still finding the dead bodies of women, children, people with the tied hands shut on the back. So, it's so. There is a hotline for people to ask for help for some, therapy, and it's already more than 400 calls about tortures and sexual about raping little kids and women. The stories that they tell, you just can't believe something like that can be happening in the 21st century. So it's not really appropriate to post everything on Facebook, but it's a reality, and it's so. I mean, I just cry. You cannot comment, because it's war crimes that are, breaking all of the rules how you are supposed to treat civilians and innocent people when there is war. So it's, everyone says that it's the biggest evil since the Second World War, what they are doing now. So that's why it's spreading all around the world. And whenever we say we are trying to talk to our relatives in Russia, they just say, it's all fake. It's a fake video and fake photos. They are asking us, "Have you been there? Did you see those bodies?" So yeah, it's really hard to because they hear a totally different information. They say, well, we were told that Ukrainian Nazis are bombing Ukrainian people. So basically, Ukraine is killing Ukrainians are killing Ukrainians. So yeah, there are a lot of videos when Ukrainians are trying to talk to those Russian soldiers, and they are saying, "Hey, the Russian soldiers like, we have come to save you. We are here to save you." That's the main the main goal. We are here, so just wait for a couple more days. We will get the capital, and everything will be okay. And Ukrainian people are trying to talk to them and saying, "We don't need you to to save us, and we are good just by our yeah." So it's a huge propaganda and brainwashing. So mm, totally different informations on both sides. Really hard to. And they were like, they were saying about that little town Bucha I was telling you about. So on Russian television, it was explained that it's all fake videos, and so the these are actors, or poor actors, they will get cold while taking those pictures and videos. So it's
Wow.
really yeah.
Wow, that's unbelievable. So,
Yes, it
what?
is.
So, okay, they are calling Ukrainians Nazis, and
They say there is some part. I mean, there are Nazis, not all of the Ukraine, and they are looking for those mystical Nazis that they. But it's just an excuse, you
so
know
so
what? It's just an excuse.
so for them, Ukrainian speaking people are Nazis and Russian speaking people are the people that need salvation from by Russia. Is that what they're thinking?
Kind of, kind of, yeah. But they are changing that reason every couple days. There is actually no. It's just there is hate because Ukraine has some freedom. You can tell, but that's what I'm saying: freedom of religion, freedom of speech. They now they now have 15 years imprisonment. It's a new law. If a person calls the events that are going on now, when someone says it's a war, they get the person into prison. It's a special operation it's a saving. It's
Wow.
saving people. So yeah, there are a lot of they are trying to. I mean, there are people that they have access to different alternative sources of information. So they realize it's not they are being lied to, because it's a real war. It's invasion, very cruel, very, I mean, lots of blood, and more than 400 children killed. So and they are trying to go out, in the big cities, Moscow, but they are all being shut down. So they cannot even have a peaceful protest and express their opinion. um, so I mean, it's really clear and obvious. They've had the same president for 20 years.
Wow.
It says, yeah, it's something. It means something. So they have their own vision of the whole, I mean, what they are saying about Europe, about United States. They bombed the maternity hospital in one of the cities in Ukraine, and they announced on their channels that there was a American, um, some some center for developing chemical weapons. So they are making up those stories, and they are trying to involve United States. So it's really, yeah, they are acting that, I mean, not good. I don't want to say that word.
They're coming up with their own version of the stories.
Yes, their own version of the stories. They have their own history about of Ukraine. They say that Ukraine just it's not a country. I mean, it's a mistake. I mean, they are trying to destroy Ukrainian books. They have always been trying for 100 years to kill Ukrainian poets, writers, artists. I mean, to kill the culture. So they say Ukraine does not deserve to be on the map of the world. So it's
Wow.
like it's really a big hate, and they've been telling that for years. And people, I mean, just people like you and me in Russia, they they are hating Ukrainians, because they hear every day that Ukrainians are so bad. They are killing Russian speaking people. There are so many, again, so stories that you really, I mean, that adult person cannot believe in, that Ukrainians are killing little children and doing some uh, like sacrificing them for some. I mean, dirty stories. And now with the at this time they didn't. I mean, they they didn't calculate that with the in in the 21st century, when you have access to Instagram, Facebook, and you cannot hide the truth,
Yeah.
So they are using the same methods they have been using for years. And my parents and grandparents, they all felt that they unfortunately had to be involved in that Russian attacks. No, yeah. So now you cannot hide the truth, because Ukraine is open, and I mean, tens and hundreds of international reporters, journalists, channels they are, I mean, welcome to take pictures, to take interviews from the people that, I mean, they kept the people in basements with no food, no light, no water. It's, I mean, again, breaking the Geneva Conventions, how you treat the. So whenever they saw, they were, going from house to house. Whenever they saw, they were checking people's phones. Whenever they found some, I don't know, symbols or even some colors close to Ukrainian friends, they were calling them Nazis, and they killed them. Killed. I mean, just peaceful civilians. And they didn't let the relatives to bury the cemetery their killed relatives. I mean, it's so sad. It's really sad
You know,
what's going on there.
my wife is Chinese American, and whenever I visited China, I felt like this is its own world where the media and the
Mm-hmm.
newspaper and the everything they're watching, everything they're reading are extremely controlled, and it
Okay.
sounds very similar to what Russia is doing. And you know how North Korea
So
is doing something very similar when you want to control the mass. You have to use lies,
Mm-hmm.
you have to come up with a counterfeit reality, and you need to keep talking to them about enough lies so they can eventually believe. And for them, that's their own
Yes.
framework of,
If you repeat it many, many times,
yeah.
people will believe it. Yeah.
Wow. That's because they do have
You kind
access
of know what I'm talking about.
because they do have access to talk to you, to people in America or to people anywhere through international phone calls. But they are so brainwashed by all these media, they don't believe you. They believe the media, right?
They don't. Yes,
Wow.
that's what happens. First couple weeks, we were trying, to call to their mind somehow. Now, I mean, it's not only us. There are a lot of Ukrainians here in Chicago, and everyone just tells the same story. I mean, we cannot talk to them anymore, and to Russians, it's just impossible. It's like you know, the world you cannot, the world you cannot break.
Wow, that's crazy. But my question about Nazis is that that's the word that Germans use against Jewish people. They were because they were
Yeah.
I don't know because they were jealous of Jewish people or they felt threatened by Jewish people making tons of money and they wanted to make them
Again, it was made
witches.
up. It was all made up because of the, sick ambitions of some leader.
Okay,
That's why.
so Nazi is just a word they use just to categorize
Yes.
somebody as somebody evil that should be gotten rid of, right?
Yeah, we were like, show us. Speaking about the politics, so there are some, when there are elections to the government, there are like parties in Ukraine. So when the party is, national, more like pro-Ukrainian, they don't even get 1% of the votes. So there is no Nazis in the government. There is a democratically elected president that the people wanted to get, and so everyone, yes, every country has their, problems, but Ukraine is an independent, sovereign country that has a right to choose the government and to deal with it, right? So we don't need neighbors to, I mean, to press us with their own vision and opinion. So yeah, around 11 million of Ukrainians had to, relocate partially to other countries or some to the western part of the of Ukraine, where it is more or less safe now. Yeah, but there are whole cities destroyed. Not a single building left in a good condition. So people basically don't have a place to come back to.
You know,
Thousands, millions. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy.
You know, before I went to China to visit my wife's family members, I all I heard about China is some Koreans think, okay, Chinese people are not civilized, they're not clean, they don't wash, they're loud, they're depressed because they don't have freedom. But when I actually got there, a lot of them looked very content and happy, strong family values, even though media is highly controlled. So I assume that not all Russians are so depressed and sad and always angry. I think they have their own way of life. They have their own values, and probably they think whatever they see, whatever they have is all they have, and this is enough. And we're going to listen to the government. We love our government. Everything is fine. We don't need your help. This is our own world. So when you talk to your Russian relatives, are they happy with their life in Russia the same way I have seen in China?
They think, yeah, the thing is, China is more developed. Technologies and
Okay.
and stuff.
Okay.
You should see what's going on in Russia.
Okay.
When Russian soldiers, they were, uh, there were some posts on Facebook and other platforms by Russian soldiers. They were amazed that we have good roads in the villages.
Wow.
That we have, yeah, they were the people that survived. They were telling that they were shocked that there are, showers in the houses.
Wow.
Because, yeah, there were young guys, young soldiers from, you know, far. Russia is a big country. It's a huge country. So there are only like couple huge cities they have some more or less good level of life. But the other territories, it's like, but they still, that's the interesting point. They still think that they are having the best country, the best life, the best. I mean, so
Wow.
they are so proud. Yeah, so they were like, we are bringing peace to you. We are bringing a better life to you. We're like, what? We were having a better life before you came, you know? Because, yeah, it seemed like, because, yeah, I can understand about China. They, I mean, really are high.
Yeah.
You cannot say that about Russia.
Oh.
So you cannot say there are like millions of poor people, and it's, I mean, the cost, the money that the government has spent for rockets, weapons, and all this stuff, they could have built good roads and bridges and lift up the country, but no, they choose to invade to your neighbor. Oh, so it really looks
It's very
bad.
similar
What's
how
worse?
in North Korea they are uh, using
Yes,
all kinds of
it
illegal
is.
means to make money through Bitcoin or something like that, so they can secretly like hack other countries like networks. And
Mm-hmm.
so when you are trying to hide something from your own people to make money, to advance your agenda, whether it's communism, whether
Mm-hmm.
it's violence, people suffer because they have to hide, and you want to control them. So I feel like the
Yes.
truth sets people free, but lies really oppress people, and that's what
Yeah.
I see. So, and when I texted you, you're doing something to help your people. So what's going
Yeah,
on
we
with
are
your
doing everything.
what's going on with your
Yeah.
project? Like,
Yeah, we are doing everything possible we can since the day one. So, first it's financial support. So we have a lot of projects because there are a lot of orphans, like kids that are left without parents because the parents were killed. And so we helped to buy 3 buses to evacuate kids from that hot cities because it was not safe to stay there, and they didn't have food and anything. So there is now like 139 kids without parents evacuated from the eastern and southern part when most of that hell is going on. So they need, on a daily basis they need food, they need clothes and stuff. So we have people from church, and our friends there, so we are trying to support them with this. And then medications, they are lacking a lot of medications. So we were helping our friends that work at the hospitals here to buy as many things as possible. And they came back from Ukraine 4 days ago, so they took 4 suitcases of medications, and it will last for 90 days for 30 people for diabetes and asthma and stuff. So then we are accepting refugees from Ukraine here at our house. They help them to, settle down, help, you know, providing them with food and accommodation. That's like goes without saying. But then to help them establish, to get their first social security number, everything they are allowed to have with the humanitarian parole that they get at the when they get in the country. So they get it for 1 year. It's an official program. So they just need like week or two, a place to stay, till they find a job and get the papers and find some apartment to rent, so we are doing that. Um, what else? We are trying to. I'm trying to talk with as many people. I mean, I have a lot of friends because women with children, they are allowed to cross the border and to leave Ukraine, but men between 18 and 60 years old, they are not allowed because it's a in this circumstance they can be called anytime to get to fight. So I have a lot of friends, as well as Irina, you were mentioning. She is now in Germany with her two kids. She hasn't seen her husband for 2 months, and she doesn't know. Yes, and she doesn't know when she's gonna see him. And she is, texting me and crying. I don't know what tomorrow brings. So people need some, encouragement. They need hope, and I'm trying. It's my 3-4 p.m. in Chicago, and it's 11-12 p.m. at night in Ukraine and in European countries. So I am trying to give that time to my friends, to moms who are falling asleep with their kids and they cannot fall asleep because they are anxious, they are crying. So I am trying to have like 4 people every day that I talk to at this time, and I help them, till they just fall asleep. So something little I can do to give them hope, to talk to them. That's what people need. So it's like covering basic needs, physical, emotional.
Wow.
So yeah,
So calling people so they can feel better and assured. That's something that you do
yes,
personally, and all the other humanitarian works, finding houses, like getting the paperwork done. Is that your
yeah,
church
yeah.
project, or is that a local church project, or is that an organizational project?
God has blessed my husband with a good, successful trucking company with a good business. So yeah, we were just grateful that God gives us an opportunity to help. So it's been 2 months, but I still, work, live with the feeling that I don't need anything. I have peace, I have roof above my head. So I'm trying to give everything, every dollar to the people in need there. Because, yeah, I'm asking like random. I have a lot of friends on Instagram. Do you need food for your kids? Do you need something? You need medic, and I'm just sending 100, 200, 300. So whoever needs that. So yeah, because they are in need.
Wow.
No work, no place to stay. They just they got like one bag with them, so they left everything in those houses, and most of the houses are destroyed.
Wow.
So nothing to come back to. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's hard.
I have one of the church magazine where it said if you want to help the people in Ukraine, send the money to this number, and I think
Mm-hmm.
I'm I gave this to my wife, so my wife will wire some money
You have to be careful
over
because
there.
there are a lot of scammers.
Yeah.
So you need to know the person personally
Okay.
to not to get so because at these times there are a lot of people that are trying to
Get money. Yeah.
it happens, yeah.
Mm.
So I'm working only with the people from church, from my college that I
Ah, okay.
personally know and I can trust.
Ah, I see. Yeah,
Yeah,
because this is
yeah.
the Seventh Day Adventist, the Korea Union magazine. So
Hmm.
I think that thing is pretty solid.
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
I'm just saying, yeah, because
it's
yeah, I have there were a couple issues with it.
mm,
So yeah, I think you can trust.
sure, sure. Well, I'm very encouraged and inspired to hear that you're actually helping people personally, and your husband is running his business, and you're doing everything that you
Yes,
can to help
I'm
people that
really
you
glad
know.
I can. Yeah,
Wow, that's unbelievable. What went through your mind
I
when?
feel responsibility. I just
Oh,
feel this responsibility because you cannot just live a happy life knowing that your friends and relatives are really going through such a tough time. So we just canceled the vacation, and I mean, you don't even feel like having any fun because people need your help. So I don't know, and most of us here in because we have a church, Ukrainian Russian speaking, both. So like 90% of people are doing something, are helping, are collecting clothes, food, anything. So yeah, you cannot close your eyes and just be, live your happy life. And so
I heard that your president said that they have been preparing for this war for 10 years or something. So did you guys know that it was going to happen?
um, a lot of other countries that I mean America as well, they were seeing something on the border, using the you know images from space. So yeah, it all started 8 years ago, and they invaded um, like two states of Ukraine. So it has, but the full invasion started 2 months ago. So yeah, European and American government, they were expecting something, and they were giving that information to Ukrainian president. So yes, they have been preparing, but until the last second, it all looked so weird in the 21st century that, I mean, no one believed that.
Yeah.
It's like we are fighting to stop killing alligators and doing, jackets and purses, and someone, just cruelly gets into neighboring country and are killing children, like people, worse, like worse than animals. You cannot just process it in your mind because um, since the Second World War, nothing like that never happened. So yeah, they were preparing, but they just they still wanted to believe it's not true.
Wow.
uh,
And you
but yeah, it happened.
and your president has been doing a video call to many national assemblies in many different countries. Then he
Yes,
was asking them to help them with more work supplies and everything. And I heard that he was a comedian. So like, how did a comedian become a president?
yes. Yes, he used to be a comedian, and it actually it's helping him now because um, people from his team are saying that he is so good at listening to other people, working uh, as a team, which is real. He got it from that previous life. But yes, he got a really high percent at the election, so people wanted him. He was young, ambitious, and he has always been, loving Ukraine. So he's been trying with all his heart to make things better. So, and now he is really doing a good job. I mean, um, the reason he is calling, I mean, all different countries, it not only asking for help, but it was really important to, it's an informational war with all those propaganda and brainwashing. As you told me, not many people know what's going on really. So he was trying, to bring light to just to show it's this is white and this is black, this is truth and this is so. Just to make sure that the world understands that Ukraine has not done anything. Uh, I mean, because it really looks, it really sounds really sounds funny that Russia says Ukraine was gonna attack. If you see, look at the map. If you look at the map, there is like Russia this big, and there is Ukraine this little, and Russia has a nuclear uh, weapon, which Ukraine doesn't have. Who would, I mean, attack this giant on the world map? So yeah, but they still believe it. They say that United States of America and Europe, they are just using Ukraine, and they are fighting with Russia on the territory of Ukraine. So, but it's been 2 months. It's been 2 months, but and Europe and America, they are like, staying aside, trying to, to keep calm, not to get it worse. So the world just sees that all of those lies are lies. So it's not fulfilling what they were telling everyone.
But what was there any transitional period when a comedian jumped into being a politician? How did they become super popular? I'm pretty sure there are a lot of funny people in Ukraine.
Uh, he just he just became a president. That's it.
He just became super popular and wanted to become a politician and become a president.
He was not the most popular comedian. I mean,
He was not.
uh, he was not the most popular. He was just the one who tried to. I mean, tried to be and it was successful because he got support from the people. That's what he needed. He convinced them that he will work for people's good, and he really did. So he is the fifth president of the independent Ukraine for
Ah.
30 years. He is the fifth, but people are calling him he is the first because the previous four were more or less somehow connected to Russia.
Ah.
He is the first one that was, really chosen by people.
Oh, I see.
That's why Russia got so mad
Ah.
because they were losing control
Oh,
over
I
Ukraine.
see. Oh,
Yes,
that's the heart of the issue.
that's what happened.
Sounded like it.
That's why
Oh.
it happened now, because you know they don't they just lost control.
So they left the communist, socialist legacy, and then pretty much when he became a president, it pretty much transitioned from communism to democracy in a sense.
Um, for these 30 years, I mean, there were leaders that have been trying to, um, to get closer to democracy, and it was just a slow path.
Development.
It was, yes,
Mm.
but this time with this president, it just all jumped up.
Oh, I see.
So because there were no, no, it the previous the previous prime minister for the previous president, it was so, Russia oriented that he didn't even speak Ukrainian. I don't know how I mean,
Ah.
how this person got on the position. I have no idea, but there were always people in the government from Russia, that were stopping the process of Ukraine getting independent democratic country. So
Ah.
now with this president, it all just jumped up, and Ukraine got closer to Europe. So that's why Russia just decided to bring back. They are saying Ukraine is our little child, little sisters. Yes, so they are not accepting that it's an independent country with its own territory and stuff like 100 others in the world. So they have their own vision and they are following that with all possible cruel methods they can.
Actually, I didn't know Soviet Union. I thought Soviet Union was just older Russia, and then I thought
A lot
literally
of people
Ukraine was
think.
part of Russia. I didn't know there were 15 other countries that break off from
Yes,
broken that were broken into
15 different countries, yeah, and most of them already got rid of Russian influence. It's only Ukraine and if you know that Belarus, it's also
ah
close to.
yeah
They are fully controlled by Russia. So
ah
yeah, and it's just Ukraine is, I mean, it's bordering with Russia, so it was hard to close the block all of the influence. It was
ah
harder.
I see.
All of the other countries, there are, if you look at the map, so they are already part of European Union. They are living their own independent life. It just Ukraine had a bad luck with a neighbor,
Oh, so 13 other
with
countries
Russia.
are already part of European Union?
Not all of them, but most of them, yes.
Oh.
Most of them, yes.
So
That were part of
so Russia was
Soviet
probably thinking
Union.
is one of their
It just,
last
uh, it just
countries.
the area of, I mean, Russia territory. Russia is the biggest, and a lot of people mistakenly think that Russia was, I mean, the main republic in the Soviet Union. It was not like that. It's
Mm.
just, it's big and but there were
Ah.
15 countries united in one union.
Ah.
Yeah.
So they began to lose control over 15 of them one by one, and then
Yes.
Ukrainian is following their
Come.
steps, right? You,
Yes, yeah, they were trying to Georgia. If you know that there is a country,
yeah.
Georgia. In 2008, they
Mm.
invaded part of Georgia, and they are controlling it now. They were trying to steal part of Moldova. If you know, it's a really small country. It was also part of Soviet Union, so I mean, it's Russia's style. It's Russia's style
Ah.
to go where they are not invited
Mm.
and to yeah. But finally now with the, I mean, internet and all of the age of information, so now it's finally been revealed to the world
Mm.
about all of those lies, and Ukraine is paying a really high price for, I mean, freedom for truth now. I mean, innocent people are suffering. That's the worst part of that. I mean, informational war, here and there, something is always, I mean, going on in this world. Someone disagrees with, but I just really feel so bad and sad about the kids, and it's really sad.
Yeah, it's very troubling that adults are not mature in the way they treat each other. And then Korea is also going through something similar. Japan has been saying the women that we brought over to Japanese camps so we can rape them. They were called comfort women, and they been saying, oh, they voluntarily offer themselves as sex slaves, all these kind of things, and they don't want to come and say we did this, we're sorry, but they twist the history and say we're
Twist.
innocent, all these things. So very similar the way they do things.
Yes, it sounds really similar. That's what's going on now. Twisting everything, twisting to the point that you're like speechless, literally speechless. Every day they may make up something new, so far from reality. So you just you just don't even have words to command.
When you look at the sanctuary, offenders come and say, "I'm sorry, I did this. Can you forgive me?" And then
Yes,
somebody says, "I forgive you." So if somebody can say, "I'm sorry,
yes,
I did this," confess. If somebody can say, "I pardon you, I forgive you," you're free, and the relationship can be reconciled. We'll be a lot happier. But so I learned that a lot from the sanctuary model, and I practice that when I teach my students. Have them say sorry. I have them say I forgive you, and they have no more bitterness. And I think
Yes.
that's an amazing principle of psychology that really seeks spiritual, mental, physical well-being. And
Yes.
I
Yes.
think we can do this, but there,
Yes, it's so easy. I mean, to sit at the table and talk. Why kill? Why
yeah,
killing?
yeah,
So, yeah,
very sad.
I have I have Russian neighbors here, and you know what? They just come and cry and say, "I'm so sorry. Can you forgive us?" I was like,
Oh, they do that. Oh, they do that.
yes, yes. Here in America, they see, I mean, a
Wow,
full picture of what's going on, and they were
wow,
like, I'm so ashamed that I am Russian. I'm so ashamed of my passport, you know? Yes.
wow.
And I was like, hey, I know you. I know it's not your
It's not you doing it.
idea. I mean, yeah, it's not, you don't support that. That's okay. Don't worry, you know? Oh, yeah, but it is. It is like that.
Well, that's still so beautiful. They do that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't have that. It's really important not to, you know, develop that hate to all of the
That's
Russians,
true.
to all of the, to everything. So you need to, I mean, people who live there in Russia, I mean, the president has a really big support because they brainwashed people. I mean, that's clear. They had some concert or some meeting a couple of weeks ago in the capital, and it's really, I mean, it's really hard to see when so many people gather together to support Russian president because he is always right. He knows what he is doing. We trust you. We trust you. You know, it's like he's like a god to them.
Wow.
So they were like, yeah, well, whatever he says, he is always right. He knows better. So we support him. So yeah, but there are people who think they are using their brain and think and understand that it's not okay. There you cannot find the reason to justify killing people.
That's true.
Nothing, nothing. I mean, there is no offense. You can always, there are other options to solutions to conflicts. So, whatever, I mean, if even if there was some serious, I mean, reason to invade, I mean, to some conflict with Ukraine, but you can never have a reason to kill someone.
That's true.
So, taking someone's life, it's a sin. I mean, people cannot decide who deserve to live and who does not deserve to live. So the, I mean, that's a big crime.
Mm,
That's a big crime
mm.
when you take someone's life purposely. Oh,
That's true. Wow, thank you so much, Olia. I learned so much from you. I've been reading newspapers and all these things, and just listening firsthand from you. It was just so tremendous. It was so
I
revolutionary.
really hope I did. I mean, give you some good information.
I hope the viewers will see what's really going on, and they can possibly, hopefully, they can help.
Yeah, I really hope so. I'm just praying. I mean, that's a really big thing
Sure,
because I am far from Ukraine, and something I can do, something I cannot, but I can pray for everyone. And
sure.
there are a lot of questions people are asking why this happened, why this happens, but I don't know why, but I hear a lot of testimonies how God saved His people who are praying, saved miraculously, just led them out
Oh, really?
of the yes
Wow.
people from church. Yeah, that's, I mean, that's a totally one more video call with you. So yeah, God is working some ways that we don't understand, you know.
Wow.
I personally signed like 50, 60 postcards with my own hands that we were sending shoes and some other things for people that that are fighting because they are not really good protected. So just something to save people's life. I mean, you're not supporting them with weapon, but you are giving them just something that, how do you call that, you
Comforting.
wear on your head. Yes,
Oh.
yes. So I signed a lot of postcards with the words of encouragement, and I got so many videos of people crying with a postcard that they are keeping the soldiers. They are keeping the postcards with the Bible verses, with the words of encouragement. I just wrote, "I'm praying for you. God is with you," and they are keeping it in their jackets when they are fighting. And
Wow.
they say, I hear those prayers, I feel those prayers, and I know that God, God is saving me. So yeah, you can do little things, but in these circumstances, it just helps.
Wow. That's tremendous.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Oya. It's really great to catch up with you in more than 10 years, and hopefully we can do it again sometime in the future when the war is over.
Yeah. I I want this. Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah, I
Oya.
really hope this will out soon. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you. It
you.
was nice talking to
Yeah,
you. I mean,
it was
I
great.
talked mostly, but
Oh, it was so great. It was super great to hear from you and then learn things about Ukraine. Thank you so much.
thank you so much that you asked about that. I feel really
Yeah,
appreciated.
yeah,
Yeah.
I also appreciate
But
whatever pain that
thank
you're going
you.
through is something similar that is going on here, and I think we can comfort each other.
Yes, yes, that's really good.
I hope you stay safe and healthy until I see you again.
Thank you. Thank you. May God bless you.
You too. God bless you. Bye bye.
Bye.